but let's now talk about all of the individual cues that you should track as we get into this trading session. We have our research team here to take you through the trade setup. Mangalam, Rima and Surbhi are all with us for exactly that. Guys, a very good morning to all of you. Rima, let me come to you first. Yesterday was a good session, and today is so important, right, with a bunch of these cues lined up. Looks like an extremely flat start ahead of that.
Indeed, but all the cues are going to come post-market hours. So domestically, we'll be tracking the TCS earnings, which typically come out at about 4:30 p.m., followed by a presser at 5:30 p.m. The March CPI for India and the February IIP, again post-market hours at 5:30 p.m. In the US markets, the CPI inflation print, which you pointed out, is very, very important. That typically comes out at 6 p.m. India time, and plus you've got the Fed minutes. So today, while it's an important session for our markets, it's not that we have any cues to deal with today. So markets could continue to, amble along like they have been, but perhaps with a positive bias. The only thing we need to watch for is the market appears to be facing some fatigue, closer to that 17,750, perhaps 17,800. It's been flagged off by a few technical analysts as a bit of a resistance level. No big direction emerging from Wall Street overnight. Asia is mixed, as you pointed out. The good part is the FIs continue to be consistent buyers in the cash market. They're not buying big amounts, but they are nibbling in every single day for the last 8 consecutive days. And yesterday, the FIs bought 342 crore in the cash market. The DIIs net sold 264 crores. So the markets could continue to amble along, but post-market hours is when all the action begins. So tomorrow is going to be a key decisive session in my view. Back to you.
All right, Rima, thanks a lot for taking us through all of those cues. Let's also talk about the individual stocks that you should watch in today's trading session. We have Surbhi standing by with that entire list. Hi, Surbhi.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for that. So result season officially begins. Delta Corp has announced its Q4 results. The revenue has seen a growth of 4% on a year-on-year basis. EBITDA is up 13% and the margins have come in at 26.5% versus 32% same time last year. Sula Vineyards has reported its Q4 sales updates. The own brand sales has seen a revenue growth of 15% and wine tourism business has seen a revenue growth of 18% on a year-on-year basis. BHEL and Titagarh Wagons Consortium has received an order to supply 80 Vande Bharat trains at a cost of 120 crores per train. Sanofi India, the National Pharmaceutical Pricing Authority, has fixed a ceiling price for its insulin brand. The product will be subject to a price reduction of approximately 21%. Now, the company says that this will impact the sales but does not see impacting their profitability. And lastly, Paras Defense, the subsidiary Paras Anti-Drone Tech has entered into an MOU with Space Kava Explorations. This MOU is signed for indigenous development and deployment of space applications.
All right, Surbhi, thanks a lot for taking us through that entire list of stocks. We will watch for all of these. Finally, it's over to Mangalam, who's looking at all of the cues from the futures and options space. Mangalam, like Rima was pointing out, the FI buying has continued once more.
The FI buying has continued for 8 days in a row, and the important part is that as a result of which the Nifty's rally has continued for 7 days in a row as well. The Nifty gained for 7 straight sessions. The FI has bought for 8 straight sessions. In fact, they bought almost 6,000 crores in last 8 sessions itself. But the bigger delta came in index futures, where the FIs have consistently bought. In fact, yesterday as well, they bought about 2,200 odd crores. And that's not buying as much as covering their short positions. 17,800 short contracts covered. Remember, at the start of the series, the FI's short exposure was 91%, long exposure was 9%, the lowest ever at the start of the series. And in just the last 4 trading sessions, they've covered 62,000 short contracts and added almost 18,000 longs. What does that do to their long exposure? At the start of the week, it was close to around 12%, and now it's moved higher all the way up to 28%. Not just that, they're also covering short calls that they've written. So yesterday, we saw short call covering of close to around 57,000 contracts, and they wrote 1,51,000 puts. That's telling you that there is strong support at the lower level as well. Where did we see short covering of calls? 17,600 and 17,650 call writers were stuck on the wrong side. They had to unwind their positions, and we saw 17,700 put writers get active as the market closed past that 17,700 mark. So all of them are now eyeing 17,650 as an important support. However, also as we moved higher, just keep an eye out on a couple of factors. The put call ratio is closer to 1.2, which is closer to the overbought sort of zone. Secondly, we may run the risk of running into resistances at the 100-day moving average for both the Nifty as well as the Nifty Bank, a couple of 100 points away for the Nifty right now. And the index to watch out for today will be the mid-cap index, and that's primarily on account of the weekly options expiry of that index today. And finally, One stock I'll be keeping an eye out on is Delta Corp, enters F&O ban. This after the company posted a soft performance in their fourth quarter yesterday post-market.
All right, Mangalam, thanks a lot for running us through all of those cues. That's everything that you should watch before we get into this trading session. With that,